Hello, Golem Dragon. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome. And this is a different kind of live show. Normally, my live shows are, video game related. This one does have some video game relation, but it is a little bit different. We're going to talk about business, entrepreneurialism, how to be your own boss, how to, flip your boss the bird, how to, you all know how to do that, right? Um, how to be self sufficient and do your own thing and be in control of who you are and what you do and work your ass off doing it way more than you would working for someone else. Does that sound attractive? Yeah, okay. So we're going to talk about entrepreneurialism at its finest. And basically, I am a serial entrepreneur. I have started several different companies. I have cashed out on some and I have closed out others. So had both success and had failures. Those failures, I don't really see them as failures. They are just expensive education. So anyway, we are going to, we have a guest, which I will bring on in just a moment. And he is a young entrepreneur who is, we'll get into what he's got going on. I think he's on the right track. And, but if you would like to be on the show and you like what you see here, you would like to be grilled about what you're doing in business and then, hopefully receive some positive feedback, which I will give you some positive feedback. Don't worry. I won't beat you up too bad. But, really point out the things that are working really well with what you're doing and the things that really need to be worked on. And sometimes, if your idea is so horrible, I'm going to tell you to just drop it. Go on. But that's just my opinion. So, anyway, on TeamSpeak, it's exclamation point, or on Twitch, it's exclamation point TS for TeamSpeak. And on YouTube, there is information in the description about how to get into TeamSpeak. And so I will both, if we have anybody here after we're done with Dash, then we'll continue on with a couple more people. Otherwise, we will just schedule people for the future. So, okay. With that, let me introduce Dash here. Hello, Dash. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Dash, where are you located in this world?
On a beautiful place called the Netherlands.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
The country of the dynamic weather.
Okay. So that's cool. So in Europe, and would you consider yourself to be an entrepreneur?
At the moment, I don't consider myself an entrepreneur
That's interesting. And why is that?
because I have not achieved the mark to feel like one for myself.
Oh, so you haven't had the success yet to feel like you've earned the title.
I'm currently growing at it, but I, I don't see myself as an entrepreneur. I see myself as a person trying to change the world and my way of living at my own pace and way in executing.
Well, that to me sounds like you're on the right track and that you are, you may not call yourself an entrepreneur yet, but that kind of sounds like one. So, okay. So you've got a couple of projects going on, but first, let me ask you just a couple of questions. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how old are you? What do you do these days? And what drives your interest in being in business for yourself?
Well, I'm Dash, called online. I'm Dash. My real life name is Daan Montaigne. I'm 28 years old, and I try to change the world.
Okay, that is a big goal, but I like what they call moonshot projects. So they are things that think that nobody thinks can be done, but then sometimes they pull them off, and they actually do them. So okay, well let's talk about you've got you've got this website that you showed me called gamesisland.org.
That's correct.
And it seemed to me that that you put this together, and it presents pretty good. So I like the presentation of it and everything when I land here. But tell us what the site is about, and what yeah, let's just start with what the site's about.
I wanted to create a website that's for kids, teens, and families that can play free online games without too much interruptions and blockades in playing games. For example, with HTML5, you can play on mobile devices such as tablets or smartphones, and
Mm,
I want to make a cross compatible way of playing online games for everyone in a way that quality of enjoying the game and being on the site is still pleasant.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's cool. I like that you're one of the first things I pick up on is I like that you're not only thinking about web browsers and people sitting at their PC, but you're also thinking about people using their cell phones and tablets and such. Um, so I think that's really good to think in those terms. Um, one of the one of the things that I heard recently was that that the sales company Shopify that makes a lot of sales stores for other companies, that they're seeing upwards of 60% of sales happening on mobile now instead of PC based, and that's a huge number to be able to support mobile. Okay, so now you've created this site, and I see it here. Um, and are all of these games HTML5?
Most of them are. Several are built on Unity, which are
Oh,
also mobile compatible
okay.
without extra add-ons.
Yeah. Okay. So playing through the Unity browser, um, it's a module or something like that. So um, okay. So let me see here. Now, have you played these games?
I've played most of them. I wanted to check if they're literally safe enough for children between 6 and 12 to play without being distracted with disrupting things like blood splashes everywhere and that kind of stuff.
There's no shooting zombies then.
There are zombie games.
Oh.
There definitely are, but they're pretty kid safe
Mm-hmm.
in my vision,
Mm-hmm.
and they're also fun to play. You probably remember from the past. With the Golden Age game, you jump on dragons and kill stuff.
Um,
It's pretty much the same idea as that.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now let's get down to the business end of this, and I assume that you want to make money doing this.
My personal goal is not to live from it, but basically to get a cost out of it to build the site bigger and better and produce a better experience for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So you're using the do what you love and the money will follow method.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. So let's see here. Now, so if it's going to cover costs, I'm looking at the home page here. How well, okay, so I see my first ads here, and they are well below the fold. The fold being the point where you have to scroll. And so is that your only source of revenue on this? Would be um, these ads that are here, or how are you making money?
I'm signed up with Google AdSense.
Mm-hmm.
They provide me the ad codes. I put them in the site, and per impression, per click, and per view, you get a bit of revenue from the ads. So traffic gets driven to them,
Okay.
and that's basically the income of the website. And when going to a game, you also see a bunch of ads, and they're placed, in my opinion, the best way to not interrupt too much of the gameplay or by visiting it.
Okay. Yeah. So they are out of the way. Just in my experience, you're going to have very low click through rates, and that is going to be primarily how Google pays. Google does pay off of impressions as well, but where the real money is on clicks. Um, so, okay, let me just click on one of these games. Let's see. Here's random, and I'm just clicking on the first random one, Candy Galaxy. I see an ad up at the top. Okay, drive Lyft in Tampa. It thinks I want to work for them. How they've missed the mark. Okay, so let's see here. Um, now I noticed that there was a login and register up at the top of the site. Do I have to make an account to play these games?
No, everyone can play infinite amount of games without registering to it.
Okay,
There's no
good,
limitation to it.
good. So the fewer clicks to get to the actions, the positive actions that you want, is the better. So okay, so I'm clicking on this game, and I guess I'm going into level one. There doesn't seem to be any sound. Match 3 or more candies to remove them. Okay. Let me check and just make sure I've got my sound set right here. I do not. Somehow my sound got reset. Okay. Oh, holy cow. Okay, I can't have the music. I'll get a copyright strike, so I turned the sound back off. I'm glad it has sound, though. Um, so, Dunville Hunter, most of them are HTML5. Okay, so remove 3 more candies. Oh, I guess I have to, I have to click them as they're, this is kind of crazy. It's not working. That's too bad. Okay.
That seems to be bad.
If I were a real player, I would say, okay, I'm done. So I got to match.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You have to click and hold the left mouse button and go through them.
Oh. All right. So I failed the tutorial right away. Okay. There we go. I've reached my objective. And I have to do the next thing before time runs out. Okay. So I can see that this could be a fun little addicting game, and I could see how you could do it on your phone and such. Is this game hosted off of your server, or is it pulled from someplace else?
These games are sponsored by Spill Games. Um, they provide me content for games, and I can choose selective which one I want to host.
Okay. Sounds interesting. Okay, so okay, and the instructions. Something went wrong.
Yes, that's the VD feed you're looking at. I'm currently waiting on the whitelist feature. I enabled it today to see it, but didn't turn it off yet.
Mm-hmm.
Within the next few days, there will be videos showing on literally how to play it, and there will be information on going through each level, the way how to play it, and all that kind of stuff. It will be literally a video walkthrough to enhance people their gaming experience on the website.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So, yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. All right. Now, how long has the site been open?
The site has been open for about 2 weeks. I've been working real hard on optimization, going through every game, every content, checking every bit of HTML on the website,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just to make sure it will rank properly on Google without getting spammed or banned by Google itself.
Right. And let's see here. So how? Okay. So you have Google listings. Are you listed in Google with this?
Currently, I'm getting the site is still being indexed by Google, but it takes time till it gets an actual rank on the keywords it's being found at. At the moment, I'm getting an average of 10, 12 visitors a day by Google, and about 24 people through social media networks. And both are related and they both drive conversion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So now, are you planning to buy ads at all to drive traffic here?
I'm not considering buying ads on for traffic. Social traffic as Google AdWords is legal along with Google AdSense, but I'm not planning to buy traffic for it because I consider it more worth in getting more conversion through SEO optimization and getting more conversion through that than through paid traffic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I found that you've been listed here in Google, and if I put in Games Island Fruit Fever, you actually come up as the um, third thing. It looks like others are also hosting these games,
That's correct.
and now let's see here. And so now I'm looking for just the game, hoping that you'll show up in here, but not. So, okay. So what is your plan for showing up in rankings? How are you going to make sure that you show up as opposed to these other people?
First of all, I'm trying to follow all the guidelines that Google wants for the websites to in order to rank,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I
Which is
don't
just which
focus.
is just good real content.
Yes, and also validation with your code that your website is displaying in the source code and various of other stuff like page speed and content keywords.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you're following all the recommendations, and you're not doing anything like keyword stuffing or hiding content that only Google sees or anything like that.
I'm not doing Black Hat SEO. I definitely do not recommend doing it. So, first of all, you can get banned on Google,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and it's very naughty to do.
Yes, I've done some testing in the past. It's been quite a long time ago, but a buddy of mine and I sought to find out how far we could push Google before Google would push back, and we did find the limit. They did eventually ban the site. So it was just kind of fun to push that to the limit with the site that was okay if it got banned. So okay, so now so is organic going to be the only way that you are the only way that you are doing this, driving traffic? Yeah, I mean, you mentioned social, but
I'm trying to focus on organic
Welcome
traffic,
to the
which is the cause to social traffic. There's a principle of cause and effect, and that's what I'm trying to do.
and okay, so social traffic. Can you explain what you mean by that?
When you click on a game, for example, and you share it on Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, doesn't really matter. People can share it anywhere where they want, and they can share it on the game itself. Through scrolling a bit down on the right side at the side panel, you can simply click and share it on the social networks
Okay,
or post it themselves.
okay. Hey, look at that. There's an Eve ad that came up for me. So, okay, so there we go for sharing out. Okay. Now, I think okay. So let me. I'm looking at Crusader Defense, the game Crusader Defense, and what I am thinking here is that if you are going to truly rank for Google, that you can rank whenever. Okay, so you're ranking when your domain name is put in Games Island, and so I'm seeing top 10 results when you include your domain name, and your domain name is not bad because it has the word game in it and games, and so that's a very positive thing that will definitely help you. Now, as far as SEO goes and doing what Google wants so that you rank well, you do not have enough content in here,
That
and so is that something that you're working on?
For example, Google looks at the header, the title.
Mm-hmm.
In headers, I meant H1s and H2s. When you look at Crusader Defense 2, you literally see it's displayed as a H1.
Okay.
And below that, at game details, there's a bit of content. These pages are not intended to rank first. And if they rank first, it's all fine by me. I try to focus on landing pages like the main page. And when you go all the way to the bottom at the footer, there are two cornerstone pages. And those will rank up the main page to get more above in Google.
Okay. Speaking of the pages down below, Google also wants to see a privacy policy, and I don't see that linked down here.
That's definitely one of the things in my checklist.
Okay.
I haven't published it yet because there are still a few errors and mistakes in it.
Yeah, no problem. So, guys, I do see your questions on Twitch and on YouTube, and so yeah, I'll see if I can get to some of your questions here. So, okay, my belief, which may or may not be correct, but it is my belief, is that Google responds to the body of a page as heavier than a title or URL or what's listed as H1, H2, and such like that. Those are all important, but I think that the highest weighted portion is the body. And so here under game details, it says, another wave of warriors trying to attack your castle, defend at all costs, brave knight. Okay, sounds great. Is that provided by the people who made the game where you're getting your information from? Is that just automatically fed to you, or where does that come from?
Most of them are currently rewritten by me. For that, I used a tool called SEO Screaming Frog, and that text is also displaying in the meta description that pops up at Google.
Okay. Okay.
And as for the website itself, it will be ranked through the cornerstone pages that are currently online.
Okay. And so I think that you could have a really big impact here on actually taking the taking this area, the game details or whatnot, maybe adding something like a game guide and something where you have written 3 or 4 paragraphs about the game and using the keywords that associate with people who are looking for this game. And so Crusader Defense might be what they call castle defense game, or there's a few games like this where you build defenses and the waves of stuff comes at you, and this is the gameplay. And so something that has the keyword stuff for the type of game it is, what people are searching for when they're looking for this type of game, including some of that terminology, and then also giving actual useful information about how to better play the game. And you could take what is currently your most popular games that people get to and start with those to see what happens, see whether or not you can improve them even more. With having the body of content there, I think Google will respond quite nicely to that, especially if it is unique, it's not copied from someplace else, and it's uniquely written. And if you're not sure how to do that, it's pretty easy. Tower defense game, yes, thank you, Brandon. That's what it is, tower defense. Which there's only a few games like that, and so you could rank really well on this. There's not very many tower defense games out there, and so you could rank pretty highly on that because it's because there's not very many of them. Although it probably means that there's not as many people searching for it either. But just having good content in there, I think, is really gonna do a good thing for you, and so I would recommend trying that.
I'm definitely going to try that.
So also, okay, now what differ? Okay, so somebody had a good question here. Let me see here. Let me go back. Tenchi had a question. He said, these are provided games that another site can provide. What differentiates Games Island from the other potential games hosting sites? Yeah, how do you make yourself different on this than the other sites, your competition?
Most other websites, they have ads literally freaking everywhere, even including inside the game, or they have to register to the site after 5 plays of using the game or playing a different game. And because they have to sign up on the website itself to continue playing the game or getting bombarded with ads inside the game where a child can accidentally click on and go totally somewhere else. That's quite not cool. And next to that, I try to make less conversion to it, but I try to enhance the gameplay with less bombarding ways that other people do, like several of my competitors.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm looking at your competition here. So I've done a search for this, and I'm scrolling up to keep that video playing so it gets done. The first thing they had was a 20-second ad that you couldn't fast forward through, and then they've got comments. Do you have any sort of comment system on yours?
Yes, there's a comment system on
Okay.
it. You have
Okay,
to do
good.
registers for it.
Okay. Okay. No, that's good. That lowers the spam. You will have some spam, but that lowers the amount of spam. And so I think that that they just got paid. This is interesting because in order to get to the game, I had to watch an ad, or the ad played. And as far as the stats will go for the, as far as the stats will go on, like Google AdSense or whatnot, Google AdSense just paid them for me watching that video, even though I scrolled up on it. But otherwise, I would have sat through it going, okay, come on, come on, come on. But still, I would have watched the video and gotten paid. So it'll be interesting to see. One of the things that's really hard to weigh on all of this is how much money making do you put in front of people's face. At the same time, how do you keep the experience and the quality really high? And that's a fine balance that's really hard to do. One thing that many people do is they keep ads very minimal and everything at the beginning while they're growing, and then they try and get up to, this point where they have a lot of traffic coming in, and there's a good volume of traffic flowing in, and then start adding more monetization. So I think that this one ranked really high in the Google results, and I'm looking here. They don't have any body content in this, and they've ranked
Yes.
really high.
That's because they're using a silo method of ranking. Their website is one big silo built
Okay.
on top of various of pages, which is mine is built up the same way. SEO can be done through content or structure of the website.
Right. Okay.
It varies per website.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And it's interesting to see how they rank high for this. And let's see here. Are you using any tools for ranking?
Google itself. Next to that, I'm using Screaming Frog and various of tools to monitor and check for errors and mistakes.
Okay. I'm gonna. There's an actual affiliate program for this, which I'm not a part of, but I'm gonna post a link here in both Twitch and in YouTube. This is a paid app. It's called Internet Business Promoter, and it does something really, really interesting if you haven't seen this application before. It does not give you any black hat stuff. It does not violate any of the rules of Google or other search engines, as long as you don't. You do a scan to find out rankings. As long as you don't have it turned up too high, and then it won't cause a problem. Otherwise, if you turn it up too high, if you tell it you want it to go through 1,000 rankings in 30 seconds or something like that, then it's going to absolutely blast Google with all of these requests, and it will say, "Oh, that IP, hold off. We're cooling you down for 5 minutes. No information for the next 5 minutes," something like that. So they have settings on here to slow it way down so that it doesn't get popped like that. But what this does is it takes and you tell it your website. And so, like let's just say for a specific game page, you would tell it that specific URL, and then you tell it the keywords that you're wanting to rank for, and then it will give you information. It'll scan your site and tell you how well it thinks that you're ranking for those, but it also brings up your competition, and it looks at the top 10 of the other websites that are ranking well, because they're the top 10, for this particular thing, for your keywords, and it will then tell you what they are doing that you are not. and what areas you're ranking well. So, like you mentioned, like H1 and H2 headlines and everything. The H1 and H2 headlines is one of the ranking things within this application that it may tell you that you rank the best in that area. Don't change it. But then, the body of the content, it may say you rank very low because 9 out of 10, that one that we looked at, didn't have any body, which I'm just really kind of surprised that it ranks so well with 0 body. But it may tell you that 9 of your other competitors, have good body. They have this many words or whatnot. And so basically, it's going to recommend to you, okay, you should build, the body content in text, at least a couple of paragraphs, and you should be figuring out how to use these particular words in there like 3 times, something like that. And then you let it marinate, you make the changes, you let it marinate for a couple of days, you let Google see the new stuff, and then you go and you scan again and you see where your position is changed to.
For that, you got, for example, for making body content like descriptions or text for blogging, you got the Hemingway app. The Hemingway app literally tells you if the lines are too complex or too hard to read or too many passive words and so on.
Yeah,
And
there's
also
multiple
that
tools
helps.
for that. It's one of the tools you could use. There are other tools out here that do stuff that's similar. So let's see here. Okay. So now I think that the higher that you rank on this, the better you're going to do. The more traffic you get in, the more ad views you're going to get, obviously. Now, okay. So beyond the SEO stuff, which I think you're on the right track with that, and I think that the site now, you'll keep working on that, but what'll happen is the site will get more maturity with that as time goes by, and I think you're doing a good job on that. Let's see here. Let's get over to your site here. Now, let's see here. Okay, so you've gotten someone here from Google or another search engine or social, however it may be. How do you get them to come back?
Sorry, I could not hear the question properly.
So you've got people coming in via Google or other methods, and so once they've been there, how do you get that person to come back?
I try to get the people back in keeping the simplicity of not getting them bombarded and keeping a great experience on the website
Mm-hmm.
and keep getting it updated with content and new games which are checked and reviewed before published.
Okay, so one thing that you mentioned on that about the games being checked and reviewed before published. Um, let's see here. Okay, I do see that you have a message in here about that, free online games that are addicting.
Yes, that's correct.
Um, it, it, it could be very easily missed because there's so much more that is so much brighter than that.
Yes, it's done on purpose. I could put it in a content box or making it way more clearer,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but it's
Um,
basically like a teaser for Google or whatever to scan it down and to find it. That's
okay,
one of the tricks I do.
right. So you might, some of the things that you might rank for the homepage or try and rank for would be, safe, kid-friendly web games, or safe, or some other thing that. What you're talking about there is offering a family-friendly environment to the person who's playing the games or looking for them. They may be motivated by fear, and because they have gotten malware off of another site, or they or their kids were playing games that they didn't approve of, and so they could let them play the games on this one or something like that. But you can think about that this may be motivated by fear, which you could go that route. It's a very strong action driven thing, fear is, as opposed to I want to kill time and play some games. And so, but your promise or your ethos or whatever you want to call it, that what drives the methodology behind this site, and people who that's important to them, they may be remembered a lot better. Do you so you take your registrations on the site and everything? People are able to log in.
Yes.
I assume you get an email address from them then?
I got an email address where they can contact me at if they have questions regarding the website.
I'm thinking about their email address.
Their email address will be masked in the CMS. I did it on purpose. I wrote a script for it that hides the email addresses from me. And if people register to the site, I prefer them using the Facebook method, because there will be no information stored on our server with their private information.
Okay, so let me ask, how... Okay, one of the ways that you can really monetize things is by taking, people have taken the time to register, obviously have more of attachment to the site than people who just come here and they play one game and they go away. So how can you use that information so that you can contact them again? Can you with that method?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. There's Google Analytics installed on the website.
No, I'm talking about, okay, let's say that I register. I played yesterday. You want me to come back. How do you get me to come back? How do you communicate to me that I need to come back because there's new games?
There won't be mail sent out. It's pure on your own free will.
Okay. I think that I understand what you're saying about wanting to keep that information private and everything, but at the same time, I think you need to figure out a way to communicate with the people who really appreciate the site. And it could be that they could like your Facebook page and you can post stuff to there. It's not nearly as effective, but if you can find a way to email them, I think
I certainly can.
I think that would be very effective, especially if they have come back and logged in 2 or 3 times or something. That they're interested, and it doesn't. You don't have to be spammy when you contact people. You can start off with a question. What is it that you like about the site? How can we improve? Or stuff like that. That's not just, hey, we want your money, come click our ads.
Yeah. Although I still can email them through the CMS with the newsletter system, and if they really want, at the current moment, if they really want actual information, they have to go to Facebook, which costs us a social revenue.
Okay.
But if they're registered, and I can send them emails if they opt in for it, and it's possible.
Mm-hmm. It's also a way that in the future, with other properties that you may build or businesses that you may do that may be related, that it's a good way to introduce your current people to new stuff, and it'll give it quite a kickstart. So, okay, let's see here. Let's talk about your other idea. So you also have done some live streaming, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I've been on various of areas on live streaming, Twitch, YouTube, and Hitbox.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you mentioned that you had an idea for another another website or service or whatnot that kind of goes around that. Can you explain what it is you're thinking of? Can you describe it to us?
Well, it's basically still quite a small idea at the moment, but I had the idea to create a website where live streamers on Twitch and YouTube and Hitbox or whatever can put in their stream embed code into the website, and when they go live, they end up on the front page
Mm-hmm.
without having to pay for getting massively revenue on the stream. And they don't have to pay for it. It's pure a free service, and there will be ads put in, of course. But it's basically like a small community for streamers where they can embed their streams and YouTube videos related to the categories and promote themselves of, hey, I'm doing this, want to see what I'm doing, visit my channel.
Mm-hmm.
And they can view it live on the website.
Okay. And now, are there some other examples out there of?
There's one really specific to EVE Online is EOC.tv.
Okay.
I do not want to compete with them. I want to build something more broad, more general, and also more friendly to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, more ads. Okay. So for Eve, I wonder if I even show up on here whenever I'm broadcasting Eve. Um, okay, so this is kind of something that interests you um, that okay. So this one obviously is specifically on Eve, and
Yes.
and you're wanting to go a lot broader, everybody or particular areas, or do you want to keep your same theme of family friendly, or what is your thoughts?
Um, it's not possible to make it friendly for everyone because the streamer decides for his own. But I do want to assemble a site in the categories of MMORPG within the sandbox genre
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and survival, Eve, that kind of stuff where people can put the live streams on and mix everything together in a bucket and go for it.
Okay. Okay. And and it's just using the embed code, so you don't have to worry about the bandwidth concerns of all the streams, because bandwidth is huge.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm using embed codes instead of transcoding it myself.
Right. Okay. So if tell me who who would be your customers or your audience?
Um, I haven't really picked it out, but the customers will be definitely the streamers, YouTubers, and content creators in videos.
Mm-hmm.
And the customers will be like people on Twitch who want to discover new live streams and various of other stuff.
Okay. And what would be your criteria that you would have to measure success? What is success on this site?
Games Island or the video one?
The game, the video one.
I will call it a success if it's at least active and it's not about the traffic or revenue I make from it, but it's more like the community I built. and the community it becomes. I want to do it for the community and not for myself.
Mm-hmm. What kind of um, what kind of fears do you have about this about doing a project like this?
That's a very good question. As for myself, I don't have many fears. The only real fear I got is failing at the worst possible way, and that can be due pretty much everything combined with the factors that brings up the site.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I don't consider it failed if the project doesn't run smoothly from the start. How do you describe it? I don't have really the proper words for it.
Yeah. No. The one of the things about being an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs always look optimistically at what it is that they're doing and not necessarily afraid of failure, knowing that failure is part of how you progress forward. And so it's interesting to hear that from you. So let's see here. Um, okay, so how are you? Okay, so let's say you're focusing on sandbox MMOs, and um, and what is going to make it different than the other sites out here that may even focus on the same thing because it's a pretty popular area?
From my discovery, there are not many websites that are focusing on true live streaming and getting the community together, like what you are doing, for example. You have a group of streamers that are working together, and you work, I think, with them, and it's very amazing. And I want to do that. I want to make from there a platform, and this idea was sticking in my head for a while, but
Mm-hmm.
you definitely broke the nail for it and made me think through it on how to do it.
Hmm. Okay. Glad I could be of inspiration on that. um, okay, so well, let me ask just a creative question here, just to kind of get you thinking and about this. But taking a look at this vision for your site that you would build for the video stuff, what ideas could you borrow from something like movies or television or books or something like that? What ideas could you marriage into this that would make it into something unique?
That's a real hard question for me. I haven't watched a movie for ages. The last movie I did saw was recent, which was Deadpool. But in a way of thinking, I would like to see a library of live streamers, and people can simply walk through the library and see what category they really like and what kind of content and the
Mm-hmm.
experience they give to the others.
Okay.
I want
Okay.
to share experience.
So you want to share experience. Okay, so think about when you were in the movie theater watching Deadpool or whatnot. What was different about the experience there, watching it in the theater, as opposed to watching something sitting at your computer? Normal way people view live streams.
That's a very good question. The reason, let me refer it to myself. I
Mm-hmm.
watched Deadpool in the cinema because I would really like to share or to experience with others the wrong humor from the movie. It's totally absurd humor, and I really wanted to watch it along with some people with the same kind of sixth sense of humor
Okay.
for the movie.
No, that sounds really good. So then your goal might be is how do you take that community feel, the reason that you went to the movie with these other people for that specific movie, how can you group people together like that watching, their favorite streamers or whatnot, and give them that same feeling? If you can figure that out, then you have one of your very important hooks of the reason why people come back. And that your competition, I can tell you, is not doing that. So that's just an idea, for how you may really own this space and everything.
That's a very, very good answer for me. I'll definitely look up into it.
So let me ask you one other question now. And now I assume that you're going to be building this yourself, or will you work with anybody else on it?
I will use the same CMS I've used for Games Island, which is, I hope you don't mind me mentioning it, but
No, that's
it's
fine.
a feed CMS. You can import movies, games, and all kinds of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and even make a fancy wallpaper site with it. And it has the framework I want to build on, and next to that, I'm going to make my own theme or edit or adjust the theme to build my own thing.
Okay. So if you had unlimited money and resources, what might you do? How would you
That's
change your plans
compared to the website.
compared to what you were currently thinking of doing? So think a lot bigger.
Well, my ultimate goal, what's been there for my entire life, is to create safe places for people that are in the communities, like Broadcast for Reps or that kind of stuff. People that can use a little push in the back, and that's my ultimate goal. And that's why I focus on safe environments for those kind of people, also for the other people who are in this world. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to create along with all the projects I've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
uh, when I was very young, I wanted to build a website that literally displays every experience for people with autism, and I could not afford or build that website because 9 out of the 10 resources were blocked or not available for me because I had no registration for it. And eventually I started thinking out of the box of how can I still support them, and eventually found more communities that are looking for those kind of answers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, sounds like good goals. Sounds like um, sounds like I think you have some good ideas for this new site and everything, and I think that if you put it up, I want to know about it. I'll sign up.
Okay.
So, okay, well, I think that's about the end of our time for this and everything. But did you have any other questions for me or anything?
Me?
Yep.
I actually have no questions.
Okay. That's cool. I think we covered a lot of stuff here. So both for you and for people watching, a lot of a lot of good ideas and everything, and hopefully a little education, hopefully a little humor. So okay, Dash. Well, I thank you for sharing your site and coming on the show today and everything. And I if you get this other dream of yours up and running as well, I definitely want to see it. And so, everybody in Twitch and in YouTube, here is a link to Dash's site. And so you can check it out, gamesisland.org. And anybody who's been watching this whole thing now obviously knows what the focus is and the ethics are. So good job on this, Dash. I think you're on the right track. So
Thank you, and I'm definitely happy in doing this show, and hopefully we can see development in it for your future shows because it's very interesting to see how it develops.
yeah, okay. Thanks, Dash.
All right, see ya.
Okay, so um, cool. That was good. So he's got some good stuff started. He obviously has some sort of skills because he's got stuff put together. He's done the number one thing that is most important for any entrepreneur, and that is to get it done. And what a done is that he has actually published his site, and it is up, it's in operations and everything, because what many people who consider themselves to be entrepreneurs suffer from is this continual planning, that everything has to be perfectly right, and that you have to do all of these different things before you can actually, put it out there. And feeling like it has to be 100% right. It does not. You need to, when it gets to the point where it's functioning, I mean, don't give me an early access game. I want a completed game. But in a website like this, he's still got things he's got to work on and everything, but it's up and running. He's got traffic coming to it. People are playing the games right now. And so he's taken the biggest step of an entrepreneur, which is getting something done. And I'm really happy about that. So that is very cool. Okay, we don't have any other guests lined up, so this will be the end of the show. But I will say that we will do this show again sometime. You can contact me if you would like to come on the show and talk about your business, have things reviewed, go through some of the creative stuff. We can go through either something that's already up and running or something that is a project that's being worked on. And both will work. So I'm open to that. And, if you guys find this interesting, we'll do more of these in the future. And if not, then we won't. But that is part of being an entrepreneur, trying things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And if this works out, then we'll do more. So I'm markeedragon. Take care, everybody. And we'll see you on the next show on Wednesday. Remember, contact me in Twitch. You can contact me through the Twitch messaging system in YouTube. The YouTube messaging system does not work very well. My email address is in the description, so feel free to contact me.